Wananchi wote hamjambo? Hamjambo tena? Mimi jina langu naitwa Mzee, mimi ndio chairman wa Kenya Vision 2030. Na mimi si mgeni na Vision 2030. Mungu Kibaki ametajwa, lakini Mungu Kibaki na mimi ndio tulianzisha secretariat ya Kenya Vision 2030. Miaka baadaye mimi ndio chairman wa Kenya Vision 2030. Kwa hivyo ni kwa so much humbleness that I get to stand here, Your Excellency. We have much to talk about the Kenya Vision 2030 in terms of achievements, and we cannot do it in 1 hour, 30 minutes, or even a day. But we'll try to do this in a very quick way to see what we have done so far.
Mzee Oburu Odinga has embarrassed President William Samoei Ruto in front of his guests from different parts of the country during the launch of Vision 2060 at KICC. Mzee first of all forgot greeting President Ruto and went straight to Kisumu Governor Anyang' Nyong'o, forgetting to greet the president at first. And actually, when he was given time to address the people, there are many things he embarrassed President William Samoei Ruto. Even the leaders asked Ruto to let Mzee rest because of his age. Remember, this comes a day after he resigned from his Senate Committee of Energy, where he was the chairperson of the committee. Now, critics and also leaders who are allied to Ruto, they are asking him to let Mzee relax and rest because of his age. The other day, he was reading a statement at Naivasha at the retreat of the broad-based team, and he was unable to read his statements and also his message and speech because of his eyes. So now, today he also embarrassed the president face to face. Let's hear what he did.
Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of Kenya, Deputy President, and all protocols observed, dear delegates. Delegates, I'm also just one of you. I'm so impressed, highly impressed by the energy of the youth. The youth has so much energy, and I'm happy that our country has a future. Because when you have such vibrant youth, then you know that this country will be in safe hands. And the development of this country to the level of Singapore. Ladies and gentlemen, my late brother used to worry the president, and he used to worry us in the party when we were drafting our own manifestos, that how can we, if at independence in 1963-64, Singapore was exactly at the same level of development as Kenya. Singapore, in terms of income per capita, in terms of the NDP, in terms of GDP, and the development growth, we were exactly at the same level. And my brother used to ask that question. What did Singapore do to rise up to a level where their incomes are now 40 times, incomes per capita are now 40 times that of Kenya? We must think as Kenyans. Where did we go wrong? And where did Singapore go right? That they achieved that level. Professor Hino, who was advisor to Raila when he was Prime Minister, has given you where Singapore is and where Kenya is. He has not told you why Kenya is there and Singapore is there. He only told you where Singapore is. And where Singapore is reachable. We can reach it if we do what Singapore did. First, we must deal with this animal called corruption. Corruption is very difficult to eliminate. It is very difficult. I've traveled all over the world, but I know it is possible to build a society which is non-tolerant to corruption. We can build a society which is completely non-tolerant to corruption. We need also to reduce government wastage in government. We need to tighten our belts, those who are in government. Let us tighten our belts for the people, for the sake of the people of Kenya. And let us make sure that our young population is educated. Education is the only equalizer. And there is no shortcut to education. You have to educate young people who are trained in technical subjects so that you can attract investment. Government can only do infrastructure. Government cannot do development. Development is for the private sector. Government can only participate a little here and there. But for you to attract the private sector, you need to educate the young people. You are not going to import labor from elsewhere. The labor must come from us here. We have to get employment, and the employment is creatable. We can create it only if we educate our young people, and we also need to invest in research. People are talking about development, but they don't think that industry needs innovation. And industry cannot invest in innovation because it is too expensive. In every development plan, government should invest and support universities so that universities develop their capacities to do research, and research which is related to the industries, so that the industries can be innovative and therefore we become competitive in the international market. Kenya must be competitive. The world is moving so fast, and you cannot sleep and think that you only want to feed your people. Feeding your people is a responsibility of the government, making sure that people are fed. But government will not do your farming for you. Government can only make your fertilizer cheaper. But farming must be done by us. Government must facilitate. For those who have lived as long as I have, I don't know how many of them here, they don't know how difficult it is to gather like this. We tried it when we were struggling for the Constitution, and we gathered for a national dialogue in Bomas in the 90s. And we were killed, we were beaten up by police. Some people ended up in jail for fighting for that Constitution because the government did not like it. When the second bombers came under President Kibaki, the government was very supportive of the process. The government supported the process. But during the end, when the government realized that some of the ideas which are coming out of national dialogue is not favorable, the government decided to scuttle it. And therefore, that national dialogue came up to nothing. That Bomas draft is still there, lying in the shelves, and it was produced by Kenyans. So when you have a supportive president who was paid, who is ready